up? Live and direct from New York City. As always, you know my spot that I own. Nobody could take my spot right in front of the courtroom, in front of 500 Pearl Street, New York. I'm a little disappointed in you with this rain. My gosh, hold on, let me clean off the camera here before I start. Let me just make sure that we're clear here. Yeah, I'll clean it every so often, but it is raining a little bit. I should have like something like hanging over the camera. Anyways, what up, y'all? I am back with my lunchtime report. We ended, Malva, what up, what up? Natasha, what up? We ended the first day, sorry, we ended off, just getting acclimated. We ended off the morning with telling you guys about summary charge, Brendan Paul, the secret phone that was admitted, and also what happened over the weekend with the lawyers, the defense team, telling the judge that if he dismisses juror number 6, that they are going to file for their third mistrial. And what else? We told you about the secret phone being admitted into evidence. If Diddy even wins, beats all these charges, him not handing in his second phone, his secret phone, he could get charged for obstruction of justice. And also Diddy's team tried to have Bonna's testimony completely discredited or eliminated, and the judge turned that down. Okay, so we let you know about that in the morning, and about Brendan Paul. If you guys didn't catch it on this morning's live. It's up on the page. We are going to start now with today, Monday morning, day 24, half day at lunch. As you guys know, at lunch, we get literally like 35 minutes. By the time I get my phone and get all my stuff, I can't give you guys as long as I can, but stay tuned. When court wraps today, it's either going to be 3 or 4 or 5, depending on how the judge works out. But big day. Make sure you tune in at the end of the day. I'll give you the full recap, and I'll try to get you everything that is with for the end of the day, okay? So let me start off by telling you, before the trial even started, before the testimony even started, let me tell you what happened with Bonna, and let me tell you what juror number 6, okay? So, actually, sorry, before that, I like to give you guys what I visually see. That's the whole point of these lives, not just with Twitter and what you guys read, give you the feeling in the court. What's up, brother? You good? All right, good. That's all, no problem, man. Keep on listening, brother. All right, so Diddy is feeling a lot better today. I told you guys that. Oh, thank you for the super chat. Thank you very much, APSM Sec. I appreciate that, man. Woo, that's a nice, I got some lunch out of that. Thank you very much, my brother. Or sister, I don't know. Is that? There's no avatar, brother, sister, whoever you are. I love you, AP, SM, Sec. All right, I told you guys yesterday that last week that Diddy was not feeling well. We heard reports that he had a flu. He was blowing his nose, he was stretching, whatever. He came into the courtroom today looking like he felt so much better. He was all smiles, hugging his lawyers, always dapping his heart to us. They're the content creators and the press, giving us the heart symbol. So he is in a good mood. He was hugging all the lawyers. One thing I wanted to let you guys know, remember I told you guys last week that Brian Steele made a huge mistake when he was trying to advocate for juror number 6. And reports were saying that Diddy was really upset with Brian Steele, but he gave Brian Steele a big hug, and it looks like he was still cool with him. However, at our first break at around 10:30, Brian Steele left and another judge sat beside Diddy, and then when Brian Steele came back, he sat on the sideline. So it looked like this morning like they were cool, but today I'm not 100% sure. So just we'll keep an eye out, and I'll let you guys know. Mark Algafino does look like he's a little annoyed. I think Mark and Tenny might be a little annoyed with what Brian Steele did on Friday, okay? Now, let's get to Bonna. The judge first addressed the inconsistencies in Bonna's statement do not apply for Nanpu, which is basically saying, hey, we want to discredit her. The judge says that there is no grounds for a mistrial, no grounds, just because her testimony was not, I didn't write the word here now. Can't remember the word. Perjured, yeah, sorry. Because Diddy's defense team was trying to say that they knew that her testimony was perjury AKA they know her testimony was a lie and they put her on a stand anyways. So they're trying to say that that's grounds for nampu. The judge says not true. And again, just like he said last week, the fact that you caught her in with some inconsistencies goes towards the defense. The jury will see that there's inconsistencies and maybe discredit her testimony on their own. It might discredit Cassie on their own, and that's the whole point of cross-examination. We told you that last week, but now it is official. They can't no longer try to have her testimony stricken. They got to just hope at that point that the jury strikes her testimony on their own. And that's exactly what the whole point of court is, cross-examination is. Every time I always talk about the defense, and I'm like, I understand what they're trying to do because they want it for grounds for appeal, and they want grounds, they want as much, they want to go at the judge as much as they can so that they have more grounds for an appeal. But I feel like the mistrial attempts and these Nanpu attempts, like, I feel like they can go too far and they might like piss off the judge or maybe even piss off the jury. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like I get it, but I feel like it might be a little too much. Anyways, let's go to juror number 6. It is official. Juror number 6 has been dismissed. It's over. He's gone. The judge, he made his decision on Friday. We let you guys know that, but he said, listen, because you guys made such a big deal out of it, all you 3 lawyers under Diddy's defense team, Xavier Donaldson, Tenny tried, Mark Garagos tried, and Brian Steele tried, but he messed up. He was like, look, I understand everything. I'm sorry, juror number 6 is gone. He said this is his final decision. The judge reminded the court that he does not require anyone's input. He was just being nice. It was really cool how he said it. He was like, I just want to remind you, as the judge, as the court, we have the right to dismiss a juror without even consulting or speaking with you guys. I did you guys a favor by considering it for a couple of days. He wanted to point out, and this is what I think one of the huge mistakes that Diddy's lawyers have made. There's been little mess ups here and there, but this was a huge mistake. And the judge wanted to remind them. They said, Diddy defense team, just want to remind you that before I made my decision, I wanted to talk to juror number 6. I wanted to talk. I wanted to ask him some questions. Y'all tell me no. I would also like to just, Peggy, thank you very much for the super chat. And the judge said, I just want to remind you, even the government said they were willing to talk. The judge wanted to talk to him and ask him some questions. The government said, let's ask him some questions. Diddy's defense team said, nah, we don't want you to talk to him because he's going to feel singled out, and we don't want you to do that, make a decision without talking to him. So the judge is like, all right, if you don't want me to talk to him, no problem. He's out. That was a very, 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 very big mistake. Diddy's got to find out who made that final decision and maybe like tell them they want like a month free or something. Just to remind you guys, there was inconsistencies in the voir dire process, that's the questioning process, and in the robing room, there was inconsistencies with juror number 6 in between of where does he live. And what the judge was basically saying is like, when you are not truthful and you blur the lines of honesty, it makes the court think that there may be other things in the voir dire process that you weren't honest about. And at the end of the day, we have to have a jury that we could trust and a jury that is transparent. And y'all know me, I always try to see both sides. I actually think the judge was fair in it, and I actually understand his decision. It is a technicality, and some people say like, yes, you know, he gets his driver's license and his mail in the Bronx, and now he's just out in Jersey because that's where his daughter is. But my whole thing would have been, you know you're in court, you know you're on the jury, and it's clear by your answers to your questions that you want to be there. If and when you do go to Jersey, and if it is because of your daughter, why don't you tell the court? Like I said, normally in life, I get it. Sometimes you want to, they say, the line is, don't ask for permission, ask for forgiveness. Not when you're in a jury in a federal courthouse, bro. You talk to the people who are handling the jury and say, by the way, my daughter is out in Jersey. I'm going to go and spend a couple of days out there and a couple of days back here. And then you have it on record to say, hey, I asked for permission. He took his chances. He wanted to go hang out with his daughter. Hey, you got to just suffer the consequences, man. So I agree with the judge's decision. Basically, the judge thinks at this point there is no reason to even talk with the juror. There's nothing the juror could say to change his mind. And the judge, this is very important, the defense asked, the judge even said this, he said, Diddy's defense team asked the judge to make his decision solely based on race. That was Xavier Donaldson, who is a black lawyer, and he's been in the Southern District of New York for 25 years. He told the judge on Friday, He said, Your Honor, in 25 years, this is one of the most diverse juries, and you letting go of a black juror is going to make it less diverse. And so the judge used that in his argument, and he says that the jury is still diverse, even though there'll be a white man taking this black man's place. However, according to the Supreme Court, the judge is not allowed to make a decision based solely on race. So that's actually another mistake made by Diddy's team. Something that they know is already been decided in the Supreme Court. You can't come out and be like, hey, Your Honor, I would just like you to make a decision. Like, yeah, he messed up, he lied, he did everything wrong. But because he's black, can you just keep him just because he's black? We have this conversation in the black community or minority community all the time. You can't just support somebody just because they're black. If you have a horrible store, you have a horrible restaurant that's infested, I can't be like, I'm just gonna eat here because you're black. You just can't do that. You know what I'm saying? You have to still maintain and keep things up to par, and then you could say, hey, this is a great restaurant with great food. I'm happy that it's black, or I'm happy that it's Hispanic, or I'm happy that it's a minority, or I'm happy, or whatever it is, whether you're Italian or whoever you want to support. You can't just support people in your community just for that. So Diddy's team made a huge mistake. Now, I anticipate that Diddy's team will make an official declaration for a mistrial, because they said in their letter Sunday night that they were going to ask for a mistrial. But the joke here is, while the trial is still going on, the person that you're asking to declare a mistrial is the judge. Why do you think the judge is going to make a decision and then you ask for a mistrial based on his decision, and he's going to say, yeah, I'm going to give you a mistrial? It makes no sense to even ask him for a mistrial. But again, it will be on record, and they'll be able to use that in appeal court. Now, here is something that is breaking. I don't know if anybody has said this yet, because it really went over a lot of people's head. There, at the end of the day today, that's why even if court ends at 3, I anticipate I won't be out till 4. But there is an issue with 2 other jurors. That is breaking news from Trent Out Loud. There's 2 more issues with 2 other jurors. Now, I don't know if it's one issue between 2 jurors or 2 issues with 2 jurors, but the judge said, and he asked the lawyers today, he said, over the day today, let me know how you want to handle the issue with the 2 other jurors. And he asked the lawyers, he says, do you want us to question the 2 other jurors in the courtroom? Do you want us to do it, in the courtroom, in a closed courtroom, meaning that press, content creators can't be in there, not even Diddy's family, nobody can be there, only Diddy and the lawyers? And what are the questions we should ask them? Or should we just scrap the court completely and ask them the questions in the robing room? From what I'm gathering, knowing with this judge, he seems to be very open and he wants to give the opportunity for the public to hear as much stuff. I am praying, I am hoping that they allow the line of questioning to these 2 jurors to be in open court, where we could sit there and find out what is going on. It took us so long to figure out what was happening with juror number 6. The lawyers only knew about it, and then we heard there was a problem, and then we heard that it was his living conditions, and then we heard the actual lie, and now we find out today. So hopefully when I come out, make sure you guys tune in and do not miss it. Hopefully we have a little bit more information on what's going on with the other 2 jurors. What I'm guessing is, because the prosecution found something with juror number 6, I bet you over the weekend, Diddy's defense team went into overdrive, probably hired some investigators, they probably did some stuff, and they found some issues with 2 other jurors. And if they got a black juror off, I'm sure they're gonna try to get 2 white jurors off, and then maybe the alternatives now that move up will be black if they take out 2 other ones. This is going to be a battle between how many people could we get off the jury. You got 1 black guy off, cool, we're gonna get 2 white guys off, and then have them. Well, I'm telling you guys, when Diddy's defense team gets on presenting their case, they are going to make this case about race. I've been telling you guys that since the beginning. You don't believe me? Go back 2 or 3 months ago. Mark Agofino told TMZ this defense is going to be about race. So they want the jury to be as diverse as possible, because they're going to speak to that. Okay. All right. So let me go on quickly now and tell you the rest of the day. Hold on. Oh, I just wanted to tell you something about juror number 6. So I can't describe who juror number 6 is to you, and we don't know who they are, but because I know the 12 and 6, the 18 there, because I see them every day, I'm looking at them in their faces for 8 hours, I know exactly who juror number 6 is, and he was not there today, so I know that's who he is, right? But I want to tell you something about him. He sat, okay, there's a row of 3, okay? So it's 3, 3, 3. He sat at the first row, and here is the podium. Let's say this is the podium. The juror, and this is the podium here, and the lawyer is talking, and the witness and the judge is here. This juror, when number 6 was right in front of the podium, this guy was the most attentive juror of all 18 jurors. And I'm not saying that because he's black or it's whatever. I'm just telling you that. Like, I didn't even know he was black. And that's why I was like, I don't know if there was 5 or 6 black people. Like, he looked to me like he was Indian. That's why I thought he was Indian or Mexican. I didn't even know that he was 100% black. There's 2 other black men there that you know they're black men. Anyways, he was one of my favorite jurors because he never nodded off. He never was not interested. He was super attentive. He was watching the trial like a tennis match. It would be like, witness, question, witness, question, witness, and then he would write down. Like, it's a real shame. It's a real shame that he is not on the trial anymore, because not only just for Diddy's side, I think for the prosecution side, I never got to speak to the guy. We're not allowed to speak to them. I think he would have judged this fair, and I think he would have judged it accurately. I think it was a real loss that they no longer have his vote, because he was dialed in. Whether it be on Diddy's side or whether it be on the prosecution side, there's wins back and forth. He was dialed in. He was really good. He was one of my favorite jurors. I'm sad to see him go. Just wanted to let you guys know that. Okay, so quickly, the day, the first person that took the stand was Anna Sanker. She was a paralegal for the government. She verified summary charts, and she verified the accuracy. She reviewed text messages, cell phones, videos, hundreds of pages. And a lot of the summary chart was KK's text messages off of KK's devices, multiple devices. Y'all know right now KK is Diddy's chief of staff. Alleged, well, no, not alleged, we could say it now, Diddy's co-conspirator. Very huge. Let me just sum it up because I'm running a little bit more at a time. I'll get a little bit more into depth after the day is done. This was really brilliant. I really think it's smart what the government is doing. The government is using, I told you guys this earlier, they're using text messages in testimony. And I said that like with Jane, or somebody who's subpoenaed out there. They take the text messages and they make the witness just read their text message. And it gives direct evidence to the jury, because we could sit here, let's say Jane or anybody tells you, oh, this happened in 2019 and I wasn't happy and I didn't want to do freak offs and Diddy made me feel like this, and you're like, yo, these girls are lying. These girls are just after money. But if you go in their phone and you look at their text message and they're like, taking a picture, there you go. Thank you. So then he's like, so if I show you the phone from the girl from 2019 or 2020, and the phone is like, I don't want to be at these freak offs. I think you're treating me really rude. I think you're treating me really mean. Then you're obviously going to believe it, right? So reading their text messages goes from hearsay or circumstantial evidence to direct evidence. So the government is doing a great job. I told you guys this earlier, sidebar, be careful what you text people. It could come back and bite you 5 or 10 years later. I'm going to be very careful of what I text people right now. Anyways, so KK, and this is another thing, I think the fact that they're having this government official read KK's text message, it's allowing, listen carefully to this, it's allowing the jury to get testimony from KK without having KK testify. And the only way for the government to have KK testify is for them to subpoena her. She would plead the fifth and they would have to give her immunity. This is a way to get information out of KK from her text messages without giving her immunity. And now she has testified through her text message. Is that crazy? I want to read the comments if anybody's getting that. Anyways, we don't have time. We'll talk about it later. Anyways, so there was a bunch of text messages from 2018 till 2024 with Brendan Paul, who was going to, KC people are liking this. Yes, beautiful, period, smart. Yes, you guys are agreeing. So they have text messages from KK from 2018 to 2024. Brendan Paul, who was Diddy's DRUG mule. KK to Dave Sherrill, who's one of Diddy's assistant. They're setting up hotel rooms with Gatorade. There's text messages with KK and Cassie talking about King's Night and baby oil. KK and Diddy talking about hotel rooms. There's a hotel room ready. KK and Diddy, there's a group chat with Diddy, Cassie, and Diddy. Sorry, Diddy, Cassie, and one of the assistants. There's one from a guy, Gardo, who I haven't heard of yet. Hold on, let me get to something good here. Oh, here, May 2000, listen to this. May 2023, Cassie and KK and another phone number, a group chat, and Cassie texts this to KK. She says, WTF, I'm done. I can't handle this. Dragging my hair. I don't know if I ever want to be involved in something like this. You need to talk to him. Sorry, it might not be Cassie. I think that might be Jane. Sorry. Anyways, they got a lot of stuff off of KK's phone. Another one from April 2018 with Cassie. Last night was crazy. I don't want to deal with this. Again, it lends credibility if people are saying, yo, Cassie's making this up. She was here in this beautiful, lifestyle around with Diddy. Why is he texting Diddy's assistant saying, yo, I can't take this. It's a crazy night. I've been dragged by my hair. I'm leaving. It's crazy. May 16th, 2023, KK and Diddy. Robin said she paid for Jane's apartment. She left the DRUG. There's another text message, November the 2nd, 2023, Jane and KK. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm done. I'm fed up. I'm done with all the partying. I'm done with that part of my life. Again, if you think Jade is up there just for the money and while she was with Diddy, everything was perfect, why is she texting Diddy's chief of staff and talking to her about how bad her life is and that she's done with all this partying? That gives grounds and that gives direct evidence. Really, really brilliant. And you get this from KK without even having to give KK immunity. Brilliant. They also played an audio from KK's phone, an audio between Jane and KK saying, hello, baby, I can't talk on the phone anymore. I really feel bad. I'm really sorry about last night, but don't worry about it. Then Jane starts crying. She says, yo, I'm sick to my stomach. He's like, yo, I can't talk on the phone. I just called to tell you that I really need you. I love you. And I'll make everything up to you. Again, proof that there was problems, yo, okay? KK and Diddy, don't lie to me. Sorry, guys, that I'm rushing, but I have to go back in now. I'm trying to find if there's anything really juicy. KK to Jane, he just started, oh, sorry. Oh, this is a good one. There's a text message on KK's phone from Jane saying, Diddy just threatened to expose my SEX tapes to my baby daddy. He says, he tried to invite me over and I told him, no, I don't want to go over. He's crazy. I don't want to handle this anymore. I just want to remind you, KK, that those videos are of me heavily DRUG'd and he's threatening to expose those tapes to my baby daddy. Ladies and gentlemen, that is proof of force, fraud, and coercion. That is coercion. She is saying to KK that Diddy is saying that he's going to leak her tapes. Now, let's just be fair. The fact that she's saying that doesn't 100% make it true, but to me, it lends a lot more credibility that she's not just on the stand now in 2025 making it up. Some might say she was making it up back in 2023, but again, it just lands way more credibility because you know that she was with Diddy up until 2024 when he got arrested, and this was a text message from 2023. If I was a jury, it makes me think about coercion and it makes me believe Jane's story, okay? Jane was asking KK, so KK responds to her, goes, I'm really sorry that you had to go through that. I'm gonna help you. And Jane says, Jane, woman to woman, you should help me with this, and you should not want him to expose my tapes like that. And KK says, I'm gonna try to help you. I thought that was really damning. Again, you get to have information from KK without having to give her, immunity. There was a video. Okay, that's really not important. There was text messages between D-Rock and Diddy on KK's phone. Just a lot of stuff. I'll go over this in the afternoon, okay? There was messages between KK, D-Rock, and Mia. So much stuff on KK's phone, man. It's just crazy, but I have to wrap this up. I want to see if there's anything else. Cross-examination was not much. There was a funny moment when the judge stood up. Okay, I'll tell you guys that later. All right, I think that's it, man. So just to let you know, for those of you who don't catch this afternoon's video, the defense is gonna start on Friday. The prosecution let us know today that they only have 2 more days of testimony. Brendan Paul might go on the stand this afternoon. If not, he's going to be tomorrow and throughout the day on Wednesday. Want to let you guys know that there is no court on Thursday. It's Juneteenth, so it's a federal holiday. There'll be no court on Thursday. And Friday, finally, the defense is starting. They said there's going to be 3 people that will testify on Wednesday. Vanesha, V-A-S-H-A, Stefan Roderick, and somebody that's going to be testifying to exhibits. Nothing that really like screamed out to me of who's going to be testifying, but hopefully we'll get a little bit more information. And Mark Agofino, Diddy's lead attorney, he was very hesitant to give the 3 witnesses. For me, that sounds like they don't have that much of a defense, because I've been saying to you guys, when Diddy's team gets on his defense, that's where we're going to see what their whole case is all about. And you normally start out strong. You should normally start out with like a big witness, like how they started out with Cassie, and it was like bombshell. The fact that the judge was like, all right, Mark, you guys have been, in court here for a whole month. You guys get your opportunity. Who is going to be your first witness? And he goes, there's going to be 3, Your Honor. And the judge is like, okay, you have to give us the names. Who are the 3? He whispers to Tenny, and he comes back and he's like, we're not 100% sure, Your Honor. There might be 3. There's going to be somebody that's going to read the exhibits. There's going to be Vanesh, and there's going to be Stefan. I was like, I was expecting like a bombshell. Like I was expecting a name that we all know and that was going to be like huge, but who knows? And normally you don't start off with having 3 witnesses in a day. You put on 3 witnesses when people are not that important. Anyways, this is the first time that I'm not super excited about hearing, yo, Mars, what up? Mars, you finally caught it live. Anyways, I gotta go. I didn't even need to stay this long. Another day I don't get to eat lunch. Oh my gosh, and I gotta run back out here. I'm not gonna eat till like 7 o'clock, and then I'm gonna record my whole other podcast tonight. Anyways, y'all know I'm out here working with y'all, man. I'm not complaining, I love it. All right, I'm going right back into court now. Mars, I'm super happy that you caught alive. Thank you guys, and I'm really sorry. I bet you there's a bunch of amazing questions in here. I will get back to you guys. I thought someone's calling me. I will get back to you guys. I'm assuming check around like 4 or 5 o'clock, I'll be back out. I think court is wrapping at 3. We'll find out about those 2 new jurors, what else is gonna happen. Anticipate around 4 or 5, put on your notifications. I'll be back out. I'll wrap it up, I'll answer all your questions. I love y'all. Peace!